Well, hello there, YouTube. How are you today? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Why? Because I think that you deserve to do what makes you happy. And if you're doing what makes you happy, then you should be having a pretty good day. So, I am Eric. For those who don't know, this is the North Country Outdoor Channel, and when you guys hit the subscribe button, you make up the North Country Nation. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, join the movement, jump on the train, let's do this thing. My watch is going off. Snapchat from Lindsay. I'll check that in a moment. What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, so I'm on the phone with my dad this morning, and I don't know how many of you, the camera's being weird and there's people staring at me. I'm telling you, up here in northern Michigan, people are just, they look at you when you're vlogging, they're like, what is this guy doing? And then you go down to Detroit and they're like, what's up, vlogger? You know, you're gonna be on YouTube? People are just, it's just two different worlds for upstate and downstate. Anyways, I'm talking on the phone with my dad this morning. He goes, yeah, I watched your video. And so whoever out there watched my last video that I put out about the sketchy tree that landed on the power line, he goes, I can't wait for your next one to come out to see how it ends. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I ended that vlog. Like, that vlog's over. I didn't plan on making another video about that. But then, you know, he was like, well, it's kind of a cliffhanger. Like, we don't know what happened. So I got thinking about it, and if he feels that way, you probably feel that way, so let's talk about what happened. I was able to get a little bit of footage, and it's pretty sketchy stuff, guys, I'm not gonna lie. So what happened is the following morning, consumers, why do I keep saying consumers? Charter was scheduled to be there at 9 a.m. Well, 9 a.m. rolls around, and guess what? They didn't show up. So I called, and they said, well, we switched it to 10. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just pay my guys for another hour to sit on their ass, because we've already been sitting on our asses for 3 days for this job, so no big deal. Don't worry about me paying my guys. Just get here when it's convenient for you. Please, just do you, and just get here when you can. So anyways, they show up, and it's not actually consumers. To my surprise, it's another tree company, just like myself. So, did I just say consumers again? I keep saying that. To my surprise, the charter team that showed up was another tree company. So, what does that mean? That told me right away that Charter doesn't do their own work when it comes to that stuff. They hire subcontractors, just like Home Depot does for me for plowing, and Walgreens and the post offices. I'm a subcontractor to a bigger company. So I was like, oh shit, how come I'm not a subcontractor for Charter Communications? Like, so I need to get in touch with them people, because I asked this company, I'm like, where are you guys from? And they're from way upstate. They had to drive like 2.5 hours to get there. I'm like, well, we can delete that problem, because I'm going to get in touch with Charter and see if I can't become a subcontractor for them, just to fill my schedule a little bit more. Because right now the schedule is, you know, we'll be busy as crap for a week and a half, and then we'll have a week where we're really not doing nothing. And I would like to be steady 4 days a week. So they show up, and it's hilarious, because remember how I told you guys that I was going to take my tractor, I was going to hook a rope around the line, hook it to my tractor, cut it, let it up slowly, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what they ended up doing. But in the meantime, while this happened, remember, you guys, if you haven't watched the first video, go back and watch the first video, because I want to keep this one short. I don't want to like re-explain everything, but in essence, the power poles were bent in like this, okay? Well, consumers came. I'm actually talking about consumers now and not Charter, because consumers is the power lines which are above the Charter cable line. I probably lost you guys. You guys probably exited out of this video. I'm sorry. I suck. I'm just not feeling it today. But I'm going to continue to make this video. So, what happened? Oh, so consumers came out, and the tree had taken down the lines initially. Well, they put the lines back up while they were bowed in like this. So as they cut that tree off the cable line, the poles went back out, and when the poles went back out, the wires got too close together, causing a fireworks show essentially, and I was able to get a video of that. So roll the clip. So what do you think about that fireworks show? That was pretty crazy. The guy that was in the bucket, like he was freaking out because what happened is these power lines that were above our head are so old that the coating, the plastic coating that goes around them is not there anymore. So it's basically bare power lines, and they were just barely touching each other and zapping. And if it would have touched hard enough and got a big enough zap, it could have essentially cut that line in half and fell down, which is just a really dangerous situation. So this is kind of funny, but kind of not funny. But so while that sparking is going on, the customer comes out and wants to know what's going on because they thought we dropped something on the power line, which I don't know how we could do that when we're working 15 feet below the power line on a cable line. But the customer came out yelling and screaming. I guess not really yelling and screaming, but like, hey, what are you guys doing? What's going on? You know, this shouldn't be happening. And no, it shouldn't have been happening, but it wasn't our fault. It was consumers' fault for half-assing the job, and they should have realized that when those poles went back out, them lines were going to stretch tighter and come closer together, so they were going to spark. And the guy that was in the bucket, you know, I get where he was coming from. I can't help but chuckle at this, but he was in the bucket. There was sparks going on above his head, and the customers wanting to know what's going on. And you know, he's in like I wouldn't quite say he was in fight or flight mode, but he was in the mode that this is a dangerous situation above my head. I need to get this job done, and I need to get out of here. I need to get my equipment away from these power lines. This is absolutely dangerous. And that's the mode that he was in. And I get it. You know, I've been there lots of times. It's just, it's one of those things where, man, you don't want to take no shit. You don't want to hear what anybody else has to say. And he had said to him, I didn't do anything wrong. We're working below the power lines. The power lines are too tight together. We got the tree off the line. You know, right now, me getting this line back to the way it needs to be is more important than your cable television. And you know, when you're in that situation, I want you guys to know, as contractors, as customers, that when things get tense, we do not want the customer involved. With the customer right there yipping in your ear, that's the worst thing that can happen. But it's not very professional as a contractor to say what he said, like, you know, this is more important than your cable television. But I get it. I get both sides. So what's the customer do? He's an ex-Marine, and oh man, he's a tough nut to crack. I liked him. I got along with him, but he told that company to get the hell off his property. I want another company in here. You guys are very unprofessional. Get off my property. Well, it wasn't a situation, guys, where he could just come down and pack everything up and have a nice day. I'm sorry that you feel that way. He had to finish the job because it was really a dangerous situation. So he ended up getting the line down, getting the tree down. The lines were still sparking. Consumers had to come out there, loosen them up a little bit. You know, this was just a situation where it would have been a 20-minute job had I not had to wait on Charter to get there and do their part. But now, after seeing how they did it, and that's how I was going to do it, that just reassures myself that, you know, even though I never dealt with that situation, I had the right mindset to deal with it, and maybe next time I will deal with it. I don't know. It's just when you get into something like that, when that other tree company came, the liability of anything that went wrong at that point was on that other tree company. North Country was free at that point. I was just standing back as a bystander. I was watching. If they would have screwed anything up, it wouldn't have been my fault. And that's why I called them in, because honestly, I said it in my other video that, you know, my whole company, the whole rest of my life, my finances, everything was riding on that power line and on that tree coming down in such a manner that it needed to come down. Had I ruined power lines, that would have been expensive. Had I, you know, did more damage to their shed, that would have been expensive. Had somebody died, had somebody gotten seriously hurt on that job site because of the power lines, that would have been expensive. So the older I get, the more in business I get, I take those extra precautionary steps. And that's, you know, I want you guys to do the same thing. There's nobody's life worth rushing through it, making mistakes. Take the right channels and do the right thing. Safety first, guys. And that's basically it. They got it off there, I hacked it up, threw it in the dump truck, and we were out of there. Like I said, it took 20 minutes. But it was quite the fiasco, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the footage of the fireworks show, because that was a scary situation. You know, every tree's different, and as a tree guy, you know, people watching this, they might be like, holy shit, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, that shouldn't have been sparking. You're absolutely right, it shouldn't have been sparking. But when consumers comes out and half-asses something, doesn't leave enough slack in the lines for those to expand back out, that's not our fault. We were hired to get a tree off a line, and we did that. So I don't really have anything else to say about the situation. I wanted to make this short video. I wanted to give you guys an update so it wasn't a cliffhanger. Yes, I actually did do the work. I did have another company come in. There was a tree on a power line, you know, and that's that. So that is the conclusion of what happened with that job, and we're off to the next job and the next job and the next job. You know, it was just one job. It just held me up for a few days, and it was unfortunate. But I'm going to end this here. With that being said, do not forget to do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It just takes 2 seconds, guys. Hit the subscribe button. If you like me, if you like the channel, just subscribe, jump on the train, join the movement. I would really appreciate it. If you guys want to get a hold of me, my P.O. Box, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my email, everything is in the description. And just remember, tomorrow is a new day. If today sucked, so be it. Whatever. Go to sleep tonight, wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. Be creative, own that sucker. You are beautiful, you are amazing. You guys keep inspiring me every day. I'm so happy to be back on YouTube. I freaking love you, and I'll see you next time.